standpoint early on, what are sort of the areas you'd like to this first week sort of look at?
Yeah, I mean, this is really not practice 3. It's really like practice like 35, just how the calendar goes, that you get to do stuff in February with them. You get to do stuff in spring ball with them. You do it in the summer 2 different times, in June and July, and then you have fall camp. So we've kind of taken a different approach of, we kind of made our calendar, our install match our calendar of, you have your identity in February, you're teaching the system, you're teaching the coaches, you're doing all that, and then you're working through that again in spring, and then in the summer you're doing it again, and you're getting better at it. And then I think it's in college football, because of the calendar, I mean, you're adding players, but about 80+% of our defense is still with us right now that was here in February and the spring. So we kind of approached this as a staff as the application phase. Like, we've learned all this stuff, we've taught all the concepts, we've taught the calls, and then we're going to go into it and basically have a call sheet instead of an install. And hey, this is what we're doing on first and second down against 11 and 12. This is what we're going to do on third down and these D&Ds. We're going to do in the gold zone, red zone, and then all the special situations. We're just going to do that, because we have to go apply what we've learned and then go do it and then get good at something. And I think the mistake I've made in the past is pretty common to a lot of people probably, is you install and you do the same install day 1, day 2 of all 4 phases. In reality, like, we've been doing this going into it, like I said, 35 times, and including probably 100 meetings. So now it's an evaluation, it's the application of all the things that you've taught. So I've been pleased with that. Our offense, Coach Nagel, they do a phenomenal job. They cause a lot of issues formationally, and the more we do, right, there's more adjustments to that. So then the football is not good. We're evaluating the toughness, the effort, the application of the techniques and fundamentals. So I've been pleased so far. We have a long way to go, but their effort, their intensity, and that's what we've been challenging them, right, is, I don't know how people play the game of football the right way anymore, with intensity and passion and fire. And they work so hard all year round. Hey, let's go do it. Let's go enjoy the game. But if all you're doing is doing formation adjustments, it's really hard to play really fast. So I've been pleased with that. I'm excited to get to tomorrow. And then as a staff on the off that non-practice day, hey, where are we at? And then we need to keep doing what we're doing. Need to add a couple things in each situation. But right now, I would err on the side of, hey, you got to go apply it and keep doing what you're doing.
So speaking of application.
Hey, real quick here. This is my second favorite team right here.
It's big.
The Gorillas. Right there, baby.
Right?
Yeah, that's where I played it.
Coach,
My
speaking of
second favorite
application,
team in America.
today is practice alone emphasize a lot on your defense today. Can you talk about where your defense stands and where it goes from here?
Long way to go. But, I really enjoy coming to work every day. I enjoy coaching our players, being around our staff. I can't commend them for all their hard work and what they've done, and we just got to continue to improve. We showed a video in the unit meeting yesterday of Michael Jordan. It's an old commercial, and it's like a young Michael Jordan versus an old Michael Jordan. And they're playing one-on-one, and after every shot, they were talking to each other, and the old Michael Jordan saying, hey, you can't do that, you can't do that. And the whole point of the video was it's you versus you.
How is this new high-powered offense challenging your guys?
Well, it's a real challenge. Like I said, I think Coach Nagel does as good of a job as anybody in the country. And that's what offense is now. It's a tremendous amount of variables. It's plays, it's a lot of formations. And like I said, on defense, if you have a bunch of stuff, you have to adjust all that stuff. So, hey, we're going to keep it relatively simple, and not saying simple in degrading anybody, but like if we're doing a bunch of stuff, we're just going to bust. So we've got to play and learn the formation families and deal with all the issues. Because you have to do that from Monday to Friday to play a game. So I've been pleased with that, and our staff's done a good job. It's a lot of issues, and Coach Nagel, like I said, they run the football, the shots down the field, the quick rhythm passes. I mean, it's a real challenge.
About the handful of guys or so that weren't here spring, especially the secondary. How do you sort of integrate and catch them up? If they're having sort of a time?
Yeah, it's different, right? Usually you would have your team in the spring, and then you're building off that in the summer. And now we took a slower approach of like, hey, look, we got to teach these guys this. And instead of teaching more stuff, teach some stuff with more variables, if that makes sense. So I think Coach CY and Coach Hall have done a great job of doing that. That's a lot going on. And then when you have good skill players as well, you got to go do your job. Then you got to have the technique and fundamentals to do those things. So we got a long way to go, and we're going to continue to get better.
Have you seen those newcomers get up to speed and have any bumps that out in particular?
Yeah, I mean, you don't really have a chance. You got to either get in or you get out. You either perform or you don't perform, and that's a challenge, right? We have guys on our team that have 100 meetings and 35 practices, and you have guys that have 18 meetings and 18 practices and 40 meetings, right? So they're 50% right there. And Eddie Walls is somebody that is coming off a little bit of a small minor injury that's been able to participate, so I've been impressed with him. Blake Thompson's done a good job for us. The two corners, Zelmar and Keani, right? They're getting better, and it is what it is. It's like adding somebody in the NFL to your team, and you got to make it work.
Even though the defense has a long way to go, what is it about them that has impressed you so far during practices?
Yeah, I want their character. We talk about being coachable and correctable. Most players are coachable. You ask them to do something, they really try to do it. All right, and then they fail or they succeed. We need them to be correctable. So when they fail, we can correct them. They can go apply it after they do it, right? Good kids are coachable. Coach Fritz has assembled a team of good people. You know what I'm saying? So the correction piece is a really important thing.
Any sort of moving around early on? Anything on the defensive side?
Yeah, we teach we mirror the DBs a lot. Like we want to teach them all the variables and all the sides because of all the formations you get. You can't match up as much as you used to be, or the way you used to could. So we teach all 5 DBs how to play. We rep 3 or 4 guys that play nickel, which we call our star, right? We rep extra guys at corner that play safety. We rep some corners at safety, and even if it's in a walkthrough setting, in a teaching setting, because now, I mean, you don't have freshmen that you develop, right? You got to coach every player like he's going to play in the game on Saturday, and you got to do that year round. You can't say, hey, this guy's a freshman, he ain't going to be ready. Well, he's probably not going to be ready, but you got to coach him like you got 2 soft tissue injuries and he's going to be the backup safety in the game. And you have to prepare for that all year round, because if you get caught and you haven't prepared for that, that Monday through Saturday is not as much fun as y'all think it is.
So what you want to do from a pressure standpoint, like Walls with the portal, how much does that go to being able to accomplish that with as like Brandon Mack back?
Yeah, I think the thing is, pressure is a vague term, right? Like we want to affect the quarterback, and everybody in our team affects the quarterback, from pre-snap disguise to post-snap execution to the call to what we're trying to do. For pressure, not pressure, we're rushing, right? Batted balls, we have a huge emphasis on that of affecting the quarterback. But yeah, Eddie's done a good job, so has a lot of those other guys.